Brilliant. So it's worth mentioning as well. There are some absolutely incredible illustrations that are in the book. So how did that come apart? Was that sort of a relationship you had before the book, or was that something that came together as part of the thing, sort of as it was forming?
So I should explain, each of the main films in the book has a bespoke illustration done by my friend
Mm.
Barney Butlerano. They're in black and white, and they're kind of melancholy, and like they've got this beautiful pen strokes that you can see. When I was pitching the book, I knew that you need to get a book made these days, especially something about films. You need something extra that can't be online because there's so much great analysis, and over analysis online. And so what I knew that we needed like a visual element to give it a kind of, I guess, a kind of coffee table aspect, to give it like something nice to keep. So Barney was a friend of a friend, and I'd seen his drawings on Instagram, and they are amazing. So I hired him to do the pitch, thinking, well, whatever happens, this will impress people. But then who knows? And then obviously, because they're smart people, the publishers loved his illustrations to the point where they kept the illustrations from the pitch. An illustration from that pitch is on the front cover. That's how good the guy is. And yeah, it was lovely. He did 34 original illustrations to these movies, and where the text gets quite scientific in places, maybe scientific is a strong word, but it's a deep dive, could run dry. There's these amazing spooky images haunting each page, which just give it a real soul, I think. So yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, it flows really well, and I think, like you say, you've got some quite deep dive analytics. Going into some of the real kind of the behind the scenes and kind of how these movies psychologically affect you, and quite an analytical running of the showtime as well. You are very much picking your analytical points and then pinning them to these kind of highlights of the movie at the backdrop of having these insanely clever and insanely beautiful drawings that represent such an eerie part of each film, and it sort of gives it its own character. I think it's as little set pieces as well, because it's not too much to, if you were, like you say, picking it up off a coffee table and you wanted to say, oh, I want to see if my favorite movie's in here, and you could quite happily spend 10 minutes reading through your favorite film and take so much away from it, that I feel like it kind of fits in both categories, really. It's a nice piece to have on your shelf at home, to really kind of, if you wanted to spend a full day looking at horror movies and like picking your favorites and picking ones that you hadn't seen before, or seeing it at a friend's house and going, oh cool, I wonder what's in here, and just spending 5 minutes digging into your favorite horror movie. I think it's a really, really good book, and I really enjoyed reading it as well.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. I appreciate that.
So how's the sort of press tour going? Are you got many interviews going on at the moment? Well, it's all been stuck inside.
But before I published it, they were like, so do you want to go to Newcastle and go to Forbidden Planet and do signings? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? It's like, I haven't even seen the book in an actual bookshop, because an actual bookshop big enough to stock it is too far away for me to safely go. So the press tour has been me sitting in this room, talking to a variety of lovely people around the country, and I say around the world. No, yeah, there's someone in America happening soon, but yeah, me zooming podcasts and what have you from here, which has been really nice. It's just really nice to meet people who are interested in this stuff. Everyone's been really kind about the book, and I think the horror community is the most welcoming of the film communities. Like, it really is a family. Especially you must find around the festival, like people get to meet each other, and then like friendships are formed in that. So actually everyone's been really welcoming, and no one's been too harsh about my choices.
That's great. I think, like you say, the horror community is particularly welcoming, and I think at a time when people don't have a lot of to do as well, I think most people I've spoken to have caught up on horror movies or rewatched their entire horror movie collection while they were in lockdown. So it's been a real nice time to kind of catch up on entertainment and that kind of end of things.
Of course, and the only things getting released right now of any note really are horror movies, aren't there? Post coming out, and St. Maud's the only thing in the cinemas right now that's really going to blow your head off, because they're smaller, cheaper movies that wouldn't have got such a big chance across a normal summer. So I mean,
Host quite literally made from home.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't do that with an action movie. You can't really, there's only certain kinds of films that work like that. I guess you could do a romance or like a kind of mumblecore thing. It's basically horror that you can do in such a cheap, ingenious way, and actually still cross over. So I mean, although these are dark times, they may prove to be really great times for the genre.
Definitely. And in horror movies as well, there's kind of a catharsis in being scared, a bit like kind of going on a big roller coaster or anything like that. It's kind of what you need in a time like this, when things are so uncertain and there's a lot of anxiety around. You need a good scare to kind of just take you out of the situation and just, sort of reset everything.
What you need is some kind of way of rating those scares, so you know in advance whether you're going to get like a Final Destination fun scare or like a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, like ruin yourself scare. If only there was some kind of book that had that kind of rating that would tell you these things.
Well, yeah, funnily enough, I might just have that here. But, yeah, if that's not a good advert for the book, I don't know what is. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. No, I think it's the strange times, but it couldn't have come at a better time. I think this book. Certainly been some movies ordered by me on Amazon today. Anyway, that's for sure.
What did you order?
So I've ordered Lake Mungo, which I think we just mentioned that I have never watched, which is definitely on the list. Suspiria as well.
Wow.
I seem to have missed this whole kind of this era of films.
That's an easy one to miss. If I don't think it was on telly a lot growing up, and it doesn't sound. It sounds a bit like, you think, really, like, what, hallucinogenic witch film? Is that going to be any good? And then I know some horror fans that have never got behind it, but the ones who do get behind it, it's give yourself the first 15 minutes. If you're not hooked, then you never will be, I don't think. So that's a great movie.
Good advice. There is actually, interestingly as well, obviously with it being Halloween, droves of Halloween articles coming out all over the place. There was a scientific study about the scariest horror film in terms of BPM of people's heart rates, I think, come out this week. And was it The Conjuring was third, and then Insidious, I think, might have been first?
I mean, that makes sense. It's I think heartbeat sort of scares are effectively jump scares, and I think James Wan is absolutely brilliant at jump scares, and the first half of Insidious is brilliant, and like the demon face scare, things like that are actually really, really effective. I don't think it's a film that you take home with you in the same way as, say, something like It Follows from about a similar period, or The Babadook or anything like that. But yeah, I like those films. I mean, they do something that looks easy really well, but I bet it isn't easy.
No, I think just mentioning Host as well, there's a lot of moments in Host which are clearly kind of James Wan kind of homages, like the glass shattering in the background, or there's sort of that moment in The Conjuring as well where she's outside putting the laundry up, and then she drops the laundry and the sheet blows over a figure outside. And it's pretty much exactly the same thing in Host, where she thinks there's something in the room, she chucks the blanket and it just forms over this figure, and there's this kind of, nothing's more jumpier than just having that figure right in your face.
Yeah, and you also, thanks for ruining Zoom calls for the rest of us who've got to
exactly.
I'm stuck doing this for the next how many months?
Constantly watching your background to see if anything.
I'm watching my background. I wish I had more of a light on now, but yeah.
I'm just waiting for, what is that, a hat in the background or a mirror or something, just to...
a bird. Oh, there's a mirror. There's a mirror.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, it's a mirror, just a mirror. And those are birthday celebration ribbons, that's all. I could see how it might look like a sinister kind of shape behind
some kind of figure. Yeah,
it's not a figure.
Well, happy birthday as well for tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's going to be brilliant. What can I say?
Perfect. So where can you get the book at the moment? It's important to ask that, I think.
You can buy the Book of Horror anywhere that you buy books. You can buy it online at Amazon. It's published by Quarto. So if you go to Quarto's website, you'll find tons of ways to buy it all over the world. But if you just Google the Book of Horror by Matt Glasby, you will find it, no doubt. And if you do find it, I would love to hear what you think of it.
Yeah, it's very important to leave a review if you do purchase it, for sure.
Yeah, and just get in touch. I'm on Twitter at the Book of Horror, all initial caps. You'll find it again. Just drop me a line if you like the book. Maybe don't drop me a line if you don't like the book, but but that's fair enough.
Especially because it's your birthday. You don't want any negative messages.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up to a big feed full of people telling me my book sucks. There's another 364 days of the year for that to happen. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, here's the book anyway, just for the purposes of the people at home. Book of Horror does have a little sticker there warning about the spoilers as well, just in case you don't want to have the movie ruined. And you can. Matt has also very kindly donated this to this year's raffle. So for just £1, you could possibly have a copy of the book as well, which ends on Halloween this year, which you can find on our website. So thank you very much, Matt, for having me.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great. All right, I'll speak to you soon, and thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.